Mm. Hello, hello.
Did that start?
Yeah. What? Hello.
Made you co-host.
Oh, awesome.
So what is bouncer? Is that
just to make sure no funny business happens, and if it is, you bounce them out of the club.
Okay, got it.
So I'm here to, puff up the chest and so on.
Get all one MC on them.
Yeah, exactly. Hey,
What's up, gentlemen?
Hi, Tracey.
Leaf, you're in your car? That is so funny.
Oh, I'm actually camping right now, and I had to drive into town to find good enough signal.
Oh, you're camping.
Yeah, so I'm in Twin Falls or Middle Fork or something like that. And so that's what's I was hoping to have it at the campsite, but of course there's no signal there, which is actually a good thing. So everything's as it should be.
Excellent. Hi, Trace.
Hello, Tracey.
Hello.
Hi, Johan. Sorry, I didn't mean to exclude you either, but
That's okay. Hello, Mark. Hello, Ethan.
oh, there's more people. I gotta expand this. Okay.
Does it go full screen, Johan? Or does you lose everything if you do that?
Yeah, I was trying to do it earlier and it kept crashing. It kept stopping. And so I saved it with a less intense resolution, and it still was doing it. So I just went this direction.
All right, it works. I like it.
Oh, so that's how it's going right now.
You can't argue with it's working.
And so, Tracey, I made you co-host. So when you're ready to share, we can share you after we do introductions.
Excellent.
It's funny, we got Ethan and Greg next to each other in the gallery. The men with the beards.
Who has a beard? Oh, look at that.
So if you can't see the gallery, how do you get it?
So what you got to do is go to the bar next to the gallery and pull it over so you widen it so you can see more people.
Ooh, I don't think I have. I'm on one screen today, so.
Johan,
should be a bar.
Right, in the top right corner where it says speaker view or gallery view, click on that.
Yeah, you guys keep thinking there's a gallery view somewhere.
Well, how many people do you see right now?
None.
None?
You're sharing your screen right now, right?
I'm sharing my screen. And when I share, I don't think I see anyone, right?
You see
you should still be able to. At the bottom, is there a bar that pops up that's greenish?
You are sharing. Start sharing. Pause. Annotate. Remote control. More.
So does no video come up at that point?
No video comes up when I'm sharing.
Next to you are viewing, Johan. There should says that view options. On the bottom is to say side-by-side mode.
View option. I don't even see a view option. I see a
Click
view.
those like 3 dots at the far right.
Yeah.
Well, you're on a Mac.
I am on a Mac.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm on a PC this time.
That's the problem. It's the Mac.
Shade.
It does exist.
Tracy.
Can we just
try turning it off and turning it back on. Blow on the cartridge and put it back in.
Yes. I do that still.
Oh, there you are. Okay, now I found it.
Did you find it?
Yes. Yay. Okay, perfect. It minimizes it when I share my screen.
Yeah. So you gotta go find it again.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, now I got it. I was like, it has to be here somewhere. And Keenan's here.
Hello.
How are you today, sir? Keenan's went dark.
No, I'm here.
There he is.
I just had to, comb the hair real quick.
Me too. I had to, make sure.
I know. You always want to do your hair really well for this.
I'm very jealous for the hearing impaired.
The hearing impaired love it.
Especially during COVID-19 when everyone I see, I'm like, that's a lot of hair you got going on there. So Tracey, it's so good to see you. I'm so excited when I saw you coming up on the board to present.
Yeah. I just wish that so I lost my voice like 7 weeks ago. And my doctor assured me that after I was done with chemo that it would come back. And it hasn't quite. But, you know, I'm good for 6 minutes.
Okay. Then sign for now.
Actually, tomorrow I'm doing a 60-minute webinar. I'm like, okay, I've got tea and I have water and
Honey, yeah.
let's just hope my dog doesn't run into the. So totally traumatized last night. My dog, we have bunnies that come in our yard and my dog finally got one. And
Oh,
he was so proud. He wanted to bring it in the house. Like, you are not bringing the bunny into the house. He wouldn't let it go. It was terrible.
Did he kill it?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Because it was a baby, which was also unfortunate. But, yeah, I don't need to give you the details. It wasn't dead immediately.
It's the circle of life.
It is the circle of life. And
I feel much better when it's an animal on animal issue.
we made sure to not, like, he wasn't scolded or anything. It was just, you know, good boy, you're doing your job, but you're not bringing that rabbit in the house. Not happening.
yeah. Next time, get a bigger one so we actually make a stew out of it.
Oh my gosh.
Hasenpfeffer.
Exactly.
The bigger ones have his number, so he's never going to catch one of them.
Hi, Dean.
Good morning.
You're so blonde.
Oh, yeah.
Sun kissed.
Mwah. I'll be the sun. Hi, Tessa, if you can hear me. Hi, Kenzie, if you can hear me. Welcome, everyone.
Hi.
Did Kenzie get back? Big hug for Kenzie.
There she is.
Safe out of other countries and in the United States. And it's Ryan from Arizona. Right? Am I right? Is it
Yeah.
Arizona? Okay.
That's correct.
Whenever I see your names, I always think of it. Now, here's Ryan Jones from KUCT in Arizona. Ryan, the weather today is?
Hot.
I'm
I'm sorry. That's every day, right?
Yeah.
Not here.
Just half of them.
No.
No. So cool. Well, it's 9:02, so we're gonna get started after Katie takes her picture.
I just wanted to be able to post how awesome my morning was.
Are you outside, Katie?
I am. I'm on my porch. Here,
Oh.
I'll figure out if I can. I wonder if I can post this in the chat so you can see my view.
That sounds awesome.
And Leif is in the middle of Washington somewhere.
Camping somewhere.
He's off grid. Don't get jealous, anyone.
Well, the grid is nearby. I had to come in a little bit closer to find some signalization.
Are you camping alone?
No, I left Nathan back at the campsite.
Okay, good. As long as you're not camping alone. I watch too much CSI.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so welcome to 1 Million Cups. I think everybody's been here before. Hi, Sheila. Welcome in this morning. So everybody hopefully has coffee or some kind of beverage or breakfast. During COVID-19, I've given into my diet soda issues, so I'm not fighting that craving any longer, and I'm in full Diet Pepsi, Diet Coke mode. Woo! So you can drink anything you want since you're making it at home. So download the app and check in. I haven't done that in a while because I'm not on my phone when we do this. I have my computer, so I'm like, why do I want to be on my phone? But if we could go in there, and I love that my screen takes everything else out. Go on your phone, and it may not work. The app hasn't worked for me. There it goes. Check in, successfully checked in. And now, Tracy, you're doing Inspark today, right?
No,
The game of business?
no.
No? Okay, something new. Yay! Okay, perfect. I'm looking at my screen and it says game of business. So we will get into that shortly. So we got that, download, check in. Follow us on social media for updates and other things, especially during this COVID time, so we can find out when we can all get back together and wear masks and gloves and latex suits and give each other hugs and stuff. Then join the conversation on Meetup and mark your calendars for every Wednesday at 9 a.m. and chat in the comment section. So everybody knows how to do the chat thing, right? If you need to chat with people. Yay. So 1 Million Cups is about building community while drinking caffeine, sharing ideas, offering help, asking for help, building community, and supporting each other. And the differentiators are presentations, not pitches, connecting, not networking, for the community, by the community, radically and intentionally inclusive. I have to look at this one real quick. Oh, there we go. So the 1MC Nation is 168 communities across the United States, 3,500 attendees, 700 plus volunteers. Yay for volunteers, and Leif for coming back in from camping to volunteer this morning. And then more than 8,000 ideas are presented. A special thank you to our community sponsor, Small Studio and Seattle Strong Coffee. Small Studio for doing our meetup costs, and your volunteer community people. And if you want to volunteer, feel free to ask Leif or reach out to him in the next couple of weeks via email. Practice to learn a new business skill or volunteering as an organizer, requirements, consistency, and a desire to improve something. Yay! Okay, what to expect today? I think everybody knows, but we're gonna go over it anyway. Leif told me to make sure I go over it. Coffee and conversation, 6-minute entrepreneurial approach from a fantastic, amazingly beautiful human being. 20-minute Q&A, more coffee, and more conversation. I don't think it gets any better than the presentation myself. So I'm trying to read what they say because I don't know what this one says. Oh, and so now, Tracey Warren. I know, I'm like, that's on there, so that's good. Tracey Warren's going to be presenting something completely new and different to us today. I have to say, I'm really excited to be able to introduce Tracey. And what I absolutely adore and love is that I met Tracey when she first presented almost a year ago now. And
Wow.
Yeah, I know. Can you believe it, Tracey? I went up and we did some work together on her passions and her directions and where she's going. And it was a great conversation. And it sounds like she's been on a great journey. So I'm really excited to get caught up with you, as I'm sure everyone else is. So I will let you take the screen and get going.
Okay. And
Yay, Tracy.
yay, who said that?
I think Johan asked the.
That was Katie.
Thank you, Katie.
You're welcome.
And okay, can you see a screen?
Yes.
Okay. So yes, I have been on quite an interesting journey, which I'm going to tell you a little bit about. It was actually way more emotional putting these slides together than I imagined. So one of the things that I believe 100% with all of my heart is community changes everything. That has taken a couple of different shapes in my business. But I started Inspark coworking as an in-person way to create community. And one of the things about me is that I have always been a community creator. I send real greeting cards in the mail. I love to make virtual introductions for people or real life introductions for people. And if you spend enough time with me, I will cheer you into believing everything that's possible for you. including you should charge more for your services and all of those things. Like that's one of the things that happens at my co-working space is if someone says they charge $65 an hour, I stop them in their tracks and say, I'm sorry, what? And we move on. And then sometimes there's a fork in the road. And in my case, that was November 2019. I went for a regular mammogram and discovered breast cancer. Not in a million years did I expect that that would happen. But in addition to a diagnosis of breast cancer is something kind of amazing happened. So I've always been a community creator, doing all these things outwardly. And sometimes it felt like it was one way. Like I was always the one doing the things and it never came back to me. And then November 2019, and it came back. My community showed up for me in ways it's even hard to fathom. Hardly a day goes by where I don't get a greeting card. My co-working space members piled money and got somebody to clean my house. I've gotten meals. I have more stuffed animals than I've had since I was a child. But my community showed up for me. And so because I'm an entrepreneur at heart, I had an idea. So one of the things that I knew is that Inspark wasn't completely nailing my genius. When I used to run a social media marketing company, and it was all around creating community. So I did Inspark and creating community in real life, but I was still watching people completely fail with creating community in real life. Something that COVID has really brought to the scene because a lot of people thought, I have all these connections online. But maybe they've discovered they don't necessarily have the relationships they thought they had. So here's what I see people do. Mostly women, but people in general. They're doing all of the stuff they should be doing. They're going to all the networking events. They're on all the social media platforms. They are basically on the entrepreneurial hamster wheel, doing all the things and not getting anywhere. So don't do all the things, do the right things. And that's where Nurture Your Network comes in. So this is my new concoction, my new creation. Like, why let breast cancer stop me from creating a brand new business? I am literally 4 weeks out of chemotherapy and launched this website last week. So, this is just who I am. In addition, I created the care process for nurturing your network. So C is for creating curiosity with your content. There's so many people that are just pouncing and selling and create some communication, create some curiosity for better results with your content, which I just said, it accelerates your results. When you're creating community, all sorts of magical stuff happens with social media and in real life. Revving up key relationships, and the important word in this is key relationships. You cannot listen and be in relationship with everyone, but those key relationships you can. And then all of this put together elevates your business. So what if you already knew everyone you needed to know to be successful in your business? And that's what I believe. It actually changed the way that I run my business. Like, I'm not running around at networking events all the time because I already know everybody I need to know. It's just a matter of taking care of those people. And we're in this together. So Nurture Your Network, there's a few different ways for people to be involved. I've created a group coaching program. We have a paid Facebook group where I will be helping people individually. And then there's a free Facebook community that anyone is welcome to join. So before I end today, I just wanted to give you a little charge. This is not a should. I don't let anybody should on me, so I'm not going to should on you. But 5 simple things you can do to nurture your network today. Like leave someone a LinkedIn recommendation, make a phone call, send a greeting card, send them a text, comment on their Facebook business page. It's really the easiest way to get engaged and start a conversation. So that's what Nurture Your Network is all about. Ta-da!
Yay!
Yay! Oh gosh. I feel like I was holding my breath the whole time.
That was
did it.
awesome.
Okay,
That was wonderful.
thank you.
So
is this,
I'm going back to sharing.
Johan's doing his sharing.
I overshare, as you probably all know. Okay, so yay, Tracy, thank you so much. That was awesome. So does everyone know, I think everyone here knows how to raise their hand in, Katie's already raised hers. So we do know some people that, hi, welcome Hillary. And anyone else that might have come in, I don't see anyone else new, but I want to make sure we're welcoming people as they come to the room. So we have hands raised. If you don't know how to raise your hand, in the participant section, you can go in there and raise your hand on your system. So, and if you want to Zoom chat me, I'll be watching for anybody that would like to just send, yeah, Leaf, I know that's easier said than done there, guys. The participants element right there where you click it, and then you can raise your hand. So I wanted to say, let's start out some questions, and I think I saw Katie's first. So Katie, do you want to unmute and go ahead and start?
Yeah. Well, first of all, Tracy, it's so great to see you again. I also can't believe that it's been a year since you last presented at the collective. And I just have to say that your story and your resilience and your, you know, your intentionality, like your desire to want to help others, I think is just really inspiring. And so I mostly just want to say thank you for sharing that. I come here a lot for just inspiration and hearing other people stepping out and taking risks and pushing themselves in ways maybe they didn't realize that they needed to be pushed, I really applaud you for that, and thank you for sharing your story. And I'm just curious, it's interesting that you were describing about, like, you already know all the people that you need in order to be successful in your business, which as somebody who, is kind of just newly taking some steps in my business, I really like that concept. And I guess I'm questioning, my question for you maybe is, like, so are you saying, like, don't network, or like, what's the kind of balance that you might recommend, right? Because, if I'm newer into an avenue or something, right? Like, do I know the people I need, right? Like, so I'm just curious if it's not a very specific question, but I'm hoping that there's enough there that you kind of understand where I'm going with this. Of, like,
So what I see with people who are unsuccessful is, well, before COVID, they were out networking 3, 4, 5, 6 times a week and then never following up. So here's what I have started to do, Katie, and this might actually be beneficial for you, is rather than me networking like crazy, I am reaching out to the people I already have relationships with, and I have a form letter that is beautiful. But anyway, it just says, hey, because you're one of my trusted friends or relationships, I'm wondering if you know these kinds of people. And then I'm getting really good introductions
Got
rather
it.
than, networking is great. But I'm kind of over free networking where like it's a whole bunch of hobby businesses. I'm trying to be kind. Like I would rather ask, and this is one thing that I struggled with most of my life is asking for help. But when I'm asking, then I'm getting way better recommendations because I'm saying, these are the kinds of people I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Oh, the birds are
I
singing.
know.
So that's just, so networking
Yeah.
isn't bad per se, but I think I can get a lot further tapping into the relationships I already have.
Yeah. No, thank you for clarifying that. I think that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Excellent. So Zucky had his hand up next. Are you ready to unmute and get in, Zucky?
I am. I was busy there with my dog attacking me for affection. So, but I got to hear that. So Tracey, two things. First, in 1997, my mother had breast cancer, and I know that going through that is a challenge. And keeping positive, trying to keep normality is so important. And you seem to do something even better, which was, and you've got it as part of your game plan. You accelerated through it. So I think that's super cool. And I just want to echo what Katie said. It's awesome to hear. It's very inspiring. Thank you very much for that. I have a silly question, and that is, you have this care program, but I think you have an opportunity, a different marketing message by replacing the R with a K and making it cake. And then it's the key. I just thought that was kind of fun. So
yeah, cake is good.
there you go. So you have a secondary outlet there if you want to go and have two blogs that cover the same stuff. So I was just a jokey thing, but and to really have an opportunity to tell you how nice it is to meet you and hear your story.
Thank you.
Fantastic.
This was all Leif's doing, honestly, because he talked about story and it changed the way I was going to present. So
fantastic. And Leif had his hand up next.
One of the benefits of being a host is that you can't raise your hand, so you have no voice as a host, apparently. So that's, anyway, very interesting story, Tracey. I appreciate it, and I'm going to steal that. Don't let anyone shit me, so I won't shit on anyone else. I have never heard that in my entire life, and nothing has ever resonated as much as that before to me. That's great.
Fantastic. I use that all the time.
What was the mindset you were in when you picked that up or said that? It sounds like it came from someplace.
It feels like there's a whole bunch of business owners or coaches or people I call dude bro marketers, and that's a whole nother story. But they're telling you what you should do. And, I'm making my own path. And I think that one of the things, honestly, that can hold people back is by following those shoulds, because there isn't one path to success in business. There's many paths. And honestly, when you take your own path, it makes you more remarkable because you're not a sheep, right? Like everybody put up Facebook avatars and I'm like, are you guys freaking kidding? Like, bah. Anyway, I'm also a little tiny bit opinionated. But like, it's about being, shoulds will only get you so far.
Yeah, that's I figured it came out of something like that. So
I mean, you look at Jeff Bezos, like nobody told him what he should do. He just did it. Or Elon Musk. Okay, I don't like Jeff Bezos. Let's use a better, but all those business people, like nobody sat around saying, well, here's what you should do. No, they just did it.
Yeah.
And I think we can get stuck when we pay too much attention to what other people are telling us what to do.
Yeah, it's a good, very good point. So my question is, what do you see for like nurture your network as being the future? Like in your head, when you dream about it, when you can't fall asleep, what does that look like? What are all the components of that? Or is there more you're hoping to do in the future with it to even
You
told us?
know, honestly, so I don't know anybody that talks about this topic, like the idea of creating community online and off. When I do a search for building relationships, I get a lot of relationship advice. So I imagine, I mean, I would love to do a podcast. I think that would be awesome. But so there's a reason that it's a group program so because I ran a social media marketing business for 7 years before Inspark, I did a lot of trainings and workshops and things like that. And what drove me crazy is I would give people the tools they needed to be successful, and then they wouldn't do it. And so that was a conscious decision I made with this to not, this is not like, hey, have a strategy session with me and then go off and do your thing, because they won't. People don't. And so creating multiple groups, I haven't gotten that far into what is this next? I am writing a book. So there should be a book, or there will be a book published in the next couple of months, because it's almost done. But I'm kind of open to whatever this brings. But yeah.
Well, thank you. I think no one else has a question currently, so I'm going to keep indulging myself with questions.
Perfect.
There's a lot of motivators for people to keep working on a business. What would you say it is for Nurture Your Network specifically? It's you already said you already know everyone you need to know to be successful. So what is your primary driver for like making it better every day and putting energy into it?
I turned 50 last year, and it took me a long time to get to a place where I was where I wanted to be, where I could speak my mind, where I could do these kinds of things. And I'm really, really tired of watching people settle for mediocrity, mostly women. And so that's my motivation, is I want to help women get to where I am faster, so that they don't have to have years of struggle in their business to get to something that's equally as mediocre. Like I am an expert at being mediocre in my business, or I have been. And I just don't, it hurts my heart when I see other people doing it to themselves. So that's really my motivation.
You'll probably be very successful at doing it, because it's a really strong motivator.
Yeah.
Thank you
Huge.
for answering the questions.
You bet.
Katie, are you have your hand up again? Come on in.
I just want to comment on something that you were saying, Tracey, about, follow, like, where there's all this entrepreneurial advice out there. And I think that probably many of us as part of this entrepreneurial community can probably relate to either having heard a lot of advice, either from, the vast, majority of people on the interwebs, or even from each other here, and, or other people in our networks, you should do X. And I think it really takes, a kind of strength within yourself to be able to understand whether that advice works for you or not, right? That yes, like I know I'm often seeking advice because I'm like taking a lot of new adventures in my life. And there's a lot of things I don't know how to do. And so I think that's, one aspect of being an entrepreneur is recognizing that you don't know how to do everything, and that's okay. But I also think that there's a an opportunity for us as entrepreneurs and just as individuals to recognize that we can say no, that bit of advice isn't working for me, or being able to recognize that I don't have to do everything the same way other people are doing it in order to have success. So I just wanted to add on to, I think, what you were describing, mostly as a comment, but just to kind of add to the conversation here.
Well, I think it's so important to make sure that when you're asking for advice, that you're asking the right people or you're asking the right questions. So I see people all the time, like they're crowdsourcing their logo design. Like, which logo do you like better? And people will share their opinion, but nobody asks, so who's your target market? Like, who are you trying to talk to? They're just like, oh, I like the pink one. It's like, well, my target market is 40-year-old dudes. Well, then a pink logo won't work. And one of the, my husband was sharing that he follows a podcaster who wrote a book, and she made $40,000 off this $10 ebook. And now she's teaching a webinar about how to make $40,000 creating an ebook. So just because you did it once doesn't mean you can teach other people how to do it. And that's what I mean when I say dude bro marketing, because it's a lot of, I could show you how to make $100,000 on one webinar. Well, yeah, you did it because you have a humongous audience. I can't necessarily do it because I don't. So.
Yeah, I think that.
Oh, sorry, Katie.
I was gonna say, I think that kind of speaks to the fact that, like, to your earlier point, that there's no just one way to do this, right? And I think that I hope that should give all of us like hope and confidence that whatever we're trying to pursue, that there's a unique way for each of us to do that and be successful, and that there's room for all of us out there. I think that's something else I struggle with as an entrepreneur, is wondering if like the stuff I want to do has already been done, right? So I just thought I'd add on though.
Yeah. And I take advice all the time. I ask for advice a lot because I know that I can overthink, but I ask the advice of key people. So, Johan, were you about to say something?
Yeah, I have a question. And well, Zeki, you go, because I don't want to take time for other people. Zeki, come on in.
Well, my question is, in the future, where do you have maybe just you running it forever, or do you see a situation where there'll be 10 people working with you and you'll all be hustling about making the world great for everybody, or what's the plan?
Oh, I don't know what the plan is yet, but boy, now I'm like, you guys are giving me vision for, yeah, I haven't thought that far ahead. But I love the idea of, train the trainer and teaching other people how to teach this. And like, that's just sounds amazing, because I can't impact the world by myself. I mean, I can, but having other people surrounding me, that sounds pretty amazing too.
I can tell you from personal experience, teaching teachers is great. I did summer workshops for the National Science Foundation for about a decade, where I taught high school and college teachers, and it's really amazing to watch them go. And then a few of them just like leaped over me in skill level very quickly, and it was awesome to watch them, start to publish, and it's great. So, good deal.
Thank you. I appreciate you asking that question, because it's, I'm going to get off this call and I'm going to start journaling and like, what is all this? Yeah. Where am I going?
So I don't see any other hands. And we're at 9:33, so I can ask a question. Yay! So Tracey, we've talked, and I've come up to Inspark, and I love your space, and I love what you're doing with people, and I totally see this as a very logical step of you, an extension, right, of another piece. You are, and I hate to use the word entrepreneur because it has such a masculine connotation for you, for anyone. And so I really think you're a creator,
Oh,
or
for
a
sure.
creatress, if you will. And so for you, and knowing you a little bit better, I'm curious, when you're creating and you're out there doing these things and on your journey, what do you see with visual bias or biases that people have? And do you have any recommendation for us, creators and inspirers and motivators, of when somebody comes at you and either tries to put you in a box because they see you a certain way? Like, how have you responded to maybe some of that?
Wow. You know, I kind of speak my mind. So, I moderated a room at a conference year before last, and it was the financial track room. And I was pissed because these were all women, and the financial track room was the smallest room. You know, the visibility room was the biggest room. And so I just said, like, this isn't cool. Women should be more concerned with making money than creating visibility. And one of the women was talking about, how do I raise prices? And I was like, okay, can I ask an obvious question? Like, do men ask if they should be raising their prices? No, they don't. They raise their prices. And I'm not sure if I'm answering your question, but I know I see a lot, especially when it comes to the differences in the ways that people talk to men and women. Even this COVID thing, the fact that, it's just assumed that all moms will stay home and do the homeschooling. And I think that is a load of crap, which this whole mom trap is another thing that keeps women stuck, because it's just assumed, first of all, moms use their children as excuses to be less than successful. But I'm not sure if I answered your question, but I feel like
You actually modeled it. You actually modeled it, and it was beautiful. Thank you very much.
And when it comes to other biases, like, I feel like this is just a discussion I'm just getting into about racial bias, and like, there's so much. And there's so much, that's a whole nother discussion.
But I love your passion behind it and calling bullshit on bullshit.
Yeah, it's, I have a friend who won an award at her annual party, and she sold the crap out of insurance. And when her boss was giving her the award, he was like, well, and you just had a baby, how do you do it all? And I'm like, he did not. But her husband said, because she's a badass, that's how she did it all. And I was like, go husband.
So I do have one question about nurture your network, because I love it. And my question is what do you see as, or have you thought of what success is for nurture your network?
What success is? No, I haven't thought about it.
Great answer.
I just know that there's more, like, this feels like way more of my genius than just creating a co-working space. And so, yeah, thanks. More to journal about later. I appreciate that.
Excellent.
What does success look like? I mean, I just want to make more money. It took me 3 years to get to profitable in my co-working space. And then, hello, COVID. So no longer profitable, but we'll get back there. So yeah, money would be nice. I appreciate money. It allows me to do things.
Very cool. Hey, there's nothing wrong with that.
My husband is accusing me of single-handedly trying to support all Snohomish County local businesses. Because, you know, I'm home. What am I going to do? Like, you know, I had to have the child.
Baby Yoda.
He's right on my desk. I love him
Kate-
very much.
And Katie's hands back in, so I'm going to let her jump in. And
Okay.
then after that's done, I'm going to jump in. We'll take one more question, and then we're going to go to our last question, and then go to breakout rooms. Okay, everyone?
I just wanted to offer, like, I think that that's a great question, Johan, of like, you know, what does success look like? And I actually also really appreciate, Tracey, that you said you don't know. Like, I think that it's just so important, like, as entrepreneurs, as business people, as people, that like, yes, it's important to like know your, like what you're aiming for, what you're shooting for, to have goals. And it's also completely okay to be in a space where like, I'm trying a thing and I don't know where it's going to be in 10 years, et cetera, right? But like, you know, I think it's great that we give ourselves the opportunity to brainstorm. And I think it's also the ability we give ourselves to just create and see what happens. And then we can kind of evolve and keep adding to it from there.
Honestly, I would not even have a website up if I wasn't working with a web designer who pushed me and pushed me and pushed me. So even this whole idea of the care process, you know, it's the website's built, the process isn't built, right? Like, so it's hard to think like, what's in the future? So
It's fun to think it, so keep thinking what's in the
yeah,
future.
yeah. What does success look like? I love that.
All right, excellent. So our question to you is, what can the 1 Million Cups community do for you?
I had an answer to that, and I think it left my brain. Dang it. I feel like I wrote it down just because I knew I wouldn't remember it. You could join my Facebook community. That's
Excellent.
one thing. Or tell somebody about it. Like, and I only allow people in there because people do business with people and not businesses. So I'm kind of enjoying, I have this canned message that I send people. I said, so people do business with people, so only peoples are allowed. So invite yourself as a people and you.
Wonderful. I'm going to give everyone a extra credit homework. I really encourage you to do those 5 things that Tracey kind of brought up in her presentation. I think that's really good of what we can do for our presenter and for ourselves, is reach out to somebody in the 1 Million Cups community and do one of those 5 things and join Tracey's Facebook group. And I think that not only will that help us grow, but nurture your network is a really good, is like the 1 Million Cups community in action. So thank you so much, Tracey.
Nice. You bet.
All right, we're going to move into breakout rooms unless anybody else has one last question. I see nothing else, so we're going to go into breakout rooms. Everybody hold on while I take us. And we'll do 3 people. And we're going to slide automatically, so we're going to create them. And they should all be going. Did it work? Oh, there it goes. Yay.